Hi, Ernie.
All right. 26, Chavav.
Okay.
Rabbi Shmuel Oimer and Chayv ala Osid Lovo. We've said before, Machlokas Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Kiva says that you're chayv for a shvuah that you take for the future and for the past. According to Rabbi Shmuel, you're not chayv for shvuahs that you take about the past. Like when you say, I take a shvuah that I ate a piece of bread yesterday. According to Rabbi Shmuel, such a shvuah has no force. Torah Bara. It says in the pasuk, Nefesh kisi shava, a person who takes an oath, livatei bisfasayim, to enunciate with his lips, lehara o lehetiv, for good or bad. Fine. There are some things that are positive and negative. What about ein bo arava? What about neutral? Minayin. Talmud Omer. O nefesh kisi shava livatei bisfasayim. That's another pasuk. That's marbe, even things that are neutral. We're on Chavav Amanal. Ein li ela haba. That's only for future tense shvuas. Lishavar minayin. Talmud Omer l'chol asher vatei adam b'shvua. Another pasuk. Div Rabbi Kiva. Shmuel Omer lahara leitiv is only lahaba, is for the future. Amar Rabbi Kiva im kain. What about neutral? From the extra pasuk. If you've now added other dinim, then add riba kosov lekach. Add past tense shvuas as well. And the Gemara sees this as a good kasha. Shapikom Rabbi Kiva Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Kiva asks good on Rabbi Shmuel. How does Rabbi Shmuel get out of this? Rav Shmuel Rav Nechuni ben Akana. Rav Shmuel was a Talmid of Nechuni ben Akana. Shahayadorish is called Torah Kula Beklalu Prat. His methodology of analyzing Torah Psukim was Klalu Prat. Iunami Doresh Klalu Prat. So he is the Talmid. Rabbi Shmuel also darshan Klalu Prat. Rabbi Kiva Sheshimesh as Nachum Ish Gamzu. Rabbi Kiva's primary Rebbe was Nachum Ish Gamzu. Hayadorish is called Torah Kula Beribu Umiyet. He used a different methodology, Riba Umiyet. Nachum Ish Gamzu. So Iu, Rabbi Kiva Nami, Dorish Riba Umiyet. Now, my Rabbi Kiva, the Dorish Riba, where do we see in Tanaitic literature that Rabbi Kiva darshan Riba Umiyet? The Tanya. In the Baraisa, O nefesh kisi shava, a person who takes an oath. That's a general riba, all oaths. But then the pasuk says lahara o lahetiv, for good or bad, miyet. Then l'chol asher vatei adam, anything that the person says chazav riba. He went back and now he included riba umiyet riba kol. You include everything. My riba is called mili, all shvuas, future and past. Now, there is a miyet, umay miyet var mitzvah. You can't take an oath on a mitzvah. Now, Rabbi Shmuel Doresh Klalu Prat. O nefesh kisi javala batebis fasayim, a person who speaks, takes an oath with his lips, klal. Then we specify lahara leheiti, for good or bad, prat. That's the detail. Adam, then the Torah goes back and says anything that the person says. Chazaru klal. So you have a format of klalu pratu klal. Iyatadana lakena prat. Hi George, we're on Chav Vav 26, maybe a quarter of the way down. So we're dealing with Machlokas Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Kiva regarding whether you take an oath for the future or the past. And Rabbi Shmuel learns Klalu Prat. The Prat talked about Lahara o Lehetiv. Iyatadan ke'ena Prat. Ma Prat mefurish laba. Lahara o Lehetiv is language that refers to the future. Avkol laba. So all the oaths that you're forbidden to take is future oaths, not past tense. Ani klala lasuyi afilu dvarim shein b'hem harava tova. La'abo. The general klal statement comes to include even neutral shavuos for the future. Ahani pratil mu'ute, afilu dvarim sheish ben harava tova l'sha'avar. But the miut says that oath that you took for the past, even for ra oitoiv, the shvua is not good. However, the Gemara says, no, we can learn just the opposite. That maybe the general statement will be marbe the sho'avar, and the mi'et statement will deduct future oaths. Why do you assume the opposite? Amrav Yitzchak, dumya l'hara u'lehetiv, because the klal is similar to l'hara hetiv. Mi she'isur mishum bal yachel dvaro. If you say something and you don't fulfill it for the future, you're over the love of bal yachel. Yatzazu, if you take an oath for the past, ein yisur mishum bal yachel dvaro. Ela mishum bal tishakru, you took a false oath. It's a different lav. So that's why Rabbi Shmuel will say it makes more sense to exclude past tense oath. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avin Amar, Amar Kra oy nefesh kisi shaval levatebis fasayim, Misha shvua kodemes lahabitui. The shvua precedes the act. V'lo shabitu kodemes l'shvua. The act cannot precede the shvua. Yotza ze achalti v'lo achalti. That's why oaths that say, yesterday I ate, I swear, or yesterday I did not eat. The mice is called in l'shvua, and that doesn't make sense. Torah Rabbanon. It says, l'chol asher vatei ha'adam b'shvua v'ne'ela mimenu. So the words ha'adam b'shvua, that a person who takes an oath is mechayev korban if he is of proper mind. Now, if he's not in the proper mind, you're not chayev prat l'oinus, because oinus rachmana patre. And when it says v'ne'elam, he forgot prat lemi prat lemezi. That if you didn't do it b'shoigeg, but you forgot, you did it, you didn't forget, you actually did it willingly, mezi, there's no korban. Mimenu nis'alma mimenu shvua. You know why he was over? Because he forgot that he took an oath. Yachol nis'alma mimenu chayfetz. Maybe he forgot on what object he took the oath on. Talmud Lam b'shvua v'nela. Al helam shvua chayv and chayv al helam chayv. You forgot your oath, not that you forgot the item. That's the baraisa. And the Gemara is going to analyze the baraisa. Amar ha'adam b'shvua prat la'onus. And a man who's been afflicted with brain disease is potter. Now, echidami, what kind of oinus? Kirav Kana Ravasi Kihavu Kaimim Mekame Rav. Ravasi and Rav Kana were learning in front of the Rosh Hashiva Rav. And they were debating what exactly Rav said in Shir that day. Like when George and I were in Rabbi Grumman's class or Rabbi Spurka's class, and we debated what exactly Rabbi Spurka said to us. Mar Omar Shvuasadochi Omar Rav. I swear that this is what Rav said. Umar Amar Shvuasadochi Omar Rav. I swear this is what Rav said. Kiyasa Kamei de Rav, when they came in front of the Rebbe, Omar Kechad Minayu. Rav said, like one of them. The other guy says, V'ana b'shikri ishtabot. So it looks like I took a false oath. No. Amar Lei, this is Libcha Nascha, your heart made you an oinus. At the time that you made the shvua, you were sure that that's what I had said. That's not a shvua sheker. Then it says, V'nela mimenu. What was nela? Shenisala mimenu shvua. You forgot the oath that you took. Yachol shenisala mimenu chayfetz. Maybe you forgot exactly what you took the oath on. Talmud Lomer b'shvua v'nela mimenu. Al helam shvua hu chayiv ve'eno chayiv al helam chayfetz. Moch kol b'marova. They in Eretz Yisrael they laughed on this. Bishma shvua mishkachas la below chayfetz. I understand when you can forget about the shvua without forgetting what you took the shvua on. Kigon, the Amar shvua shlo oichel paschit. You say, I take an oath that I'm not going to eat wheat bread. Ukesfor she'oichel paschit nkomer. But he forgot. He thought he took the oath to actually eat it. The shvuasa inshi. He forgot the specifics of his shvua. But chavsa dokir. He remembered that it was referring to bread. He just made a mistake in terms of was he supposed to eat it or not supposed to eat it. So that the Gemara understands how you can forget your shvua but not the chayfetz. Ela chayfetz below shvua echidami. How do you forget the object of your oath without forgetting the shvua? So the Gemara says, Kigon, the Omar shvua shlo oichel paschit. You take an oath, I'm not going to eat wheat bread. Ukisvor shel so'orim kor. And he thought that it meant barley bread. The shvua sadokula, he remembers that he took a shvua, but chefze inshi, he forgot the specific item he took the shvua on. Even the chefze inshi, since he forgot the shvua of the item, so I knew helam shvua, but the Gemara doesn't understand. That's the whole point of the shvua. That's part of the detail of shvua. It's not you can't forget, if you forget what you took the oath on, you forgot the whole oath. So Rabbi Elazar says, you know what? Whether you forget the shvua or you forget the chayfetz, it's the same thing. So Maskif Rav Yosef, Alma, so from here we learn chayfetz below shvua lo mishkachas. You can't describe an example of forgetting the chayfetz without also forgetting the shvua. But I can come up with it. I take an oath I'm not going to eat wheat bread. So he stretches his hand into a basket of bread and he pulls out what he thought was going to be barley bread. But wheat bread came into his hand. But he thought he thought it was barley and he ate it. He remembers that he took a shvua, the shvuasa dakarle, but chefzahu de lo yodale. The specific of it he doesn't know. Armele abaya. Klum mechayves le korban. You're not going to make the guy obligated to bring a korban ela amayda tovitz biyode on what happened to come into his hand and he ate it, because helam shavuahu, he didn't think he took a shvua on barley. He took a shvua on wheat. So why would you make him take a korban? Now lishnachrin, other people ask a different way. Amar le'abayla Rav Yosef. Sof korban de komaisi alo the high pas mias. He should bring a korban. Because al helam shvuahu, he forgot that he took the shvua on that kind of pas. Rav Yosef, what do you mean? Even the chiyodele, if he knew that it was chitin, have a parshma, he would have stayed away from it. So he remembers the shvua. So really, it's helam chayfetzu. The din is if you forgot the shvua and the details, you're potter from korban. And the Rambam says, you took an oath not to eat wheat bread. But he forgot, he thought that no, it meant he was going to eat wheat bread, not to eat it. And he ate it. He's on an onus and he's pot. Back to the Gemara. Boy minei Ravim Rav Nachman. Helam zev biyado. He forgot the shvuah and forgot what he took an oath on. Amar le harei helam shvuah biyado v'chayev. Well, he forgot the shvuah, so it's a helam shvuah. He should be chayev. Says the Rav Nachman Adarabba. Harei helam chavetz biyado u'potter. By forgetting the chayfetz, he should be potter. Amar Rav Ashi chazina. We see if you told him, you know what, stay away from this because you took an oath. So then harei helam shvuah biyado v'chayev. So if he had forgotten and eaten it, he'd be chayiv. But when we remind him that what's in your hand is wheat, and he stays away from it, Ravashi, you can't prove from that. The whole shvuah has to do with what he took a shvuah on, and klum porch mechayvetz el mishum shvuah. Basically, the answer here is that they go hand in hand. You can't have a shvuah without knowing what you took the shvuah on. And a loy shna, so there's no difference. Boy minei Rav and Rav Nachman. Ezeu hi shigiga shvuas bitu l'sha'avar. How can you have a shoygeg by a shvuah in the past tense that you need to bring a korban? Idi yada, if he knew, he took an oath. If when he took the oath, he knew it wasn't true, like he says, I didn't eat yesterday, but he knew he ate. So Mesidu, that's not a shoygeg. He knows exactly what he's doing. Idolo yada, he doesn't know. And maybe he thinks it's exactly like he took an oath, so then he's an onus. So how can you get him to be a shoygeg? I know that violating an oath is asur. I don't know the ramifications of being over this din. Do I bring a korban or not? That's what makes you a shoygeg. Now, kimunviz. There's a famous machlokes between munviz and the chachamim. The amar shigigas korban shma shgaga. That he, for example, if he is machal Shabbos, but he doesn't know that you bring a korban for that, so that's already it's a shoygeg. Now the chachamim argue it doesn't pater you from a korban. And yet we can say here it's also like the chachamim. Afilu temi rabbanon ad kan lo pligi rabbanon alei al munviz. When do the chacham argue with munviz that this kind of shoygeg is not a shoygeg to make you a korban? Ela b'chol Torah kula, the lav chidushu, because throughout the Torah, any avera that you're chayiv, if you do it with mezid kores, you're chayiv on a korban. Aval hocha by shvuas is a chidushu, because b'chol Torah kula lo ashkechan lav demaisi korban b'mezid. We only bring korbanos if you did something b'shoygeg. Here by a shvuah, we make you bring a korban even b'mezid. The alfinim avodah zara. Normally, we learn from avodah zara that only if you do it b'mezid you get kores, you bring a chatas. Hacha maisi afilu rabbanon moidi. So here, because you bring a korban even by a mezid shvuah, the chacham are moide that being a shoygeg for the korban as well makes you bring a korban. Boy b'nei revim rabba. Nishbal kikar. Person takes an oath, I'm not going to eat the piece of bread today. Umistakein alei. And now he's starving to death. And he wants to eat it. Mahu. So Rava doesn't understand. Imistakein literally mar. But it's pikuach nefesh. Pikuach nefesh is doich everything. So what's the shaila here? Ella, he was not in danger. He was suffering. V'achla b'shigas shvuah. Mai. Amarle tanina. Shav miyadoyaso. He didn't remember that he took a shvuah. And now he was told that he did a chet, maybe korban al shigagaso. But lo shav miyadoyaso. And if he knew, he would have still sinned. And maybe Korban al Shegagaso. He's amazing. Amar Shmuel. Gomer Adam Belibo. He, in his heart, accepts an oath. It's not good enough to accept it in your heart. You have to speak it out. It says bisfasayim v'lo belev. You got to speak it out. You can't just think about it. Im gomer belibo, that you're also chayav minayin. Talmud loymer l'chol she'vatei adam b'shvuah. Now the Gemara says, "Rein hagufa kasha armit bisfasayim v'lo belev." You started out this price by saying it's got to be enunciated. It can't be in your heart, and otherwise you're potter. V'hodav armit gomer belibo minayin. Then we say if you calculate in your heart to do it, how do you know you're chayiv? It's completely a stira. Amrav sheishes haloi kasha. Hachi kamar. Bisfasayim, and not having in your heart, v'lo shegomer beliba lahotzi. He didn't have it in his mind to say it. Or bisfasa v'lo hotzi, or he wanted to say, he didn't say it. In all these cases, if there's kavona only, but he didn't enunciate it, potter. But gomer belibo stop. He thought about the oath, but he didn't think about saying it. That alone is minayin, that through the kavana you're chayiv. But Shmuel, who says that unless you enunciate, you're not chayiv kasha, it comes out the way we just learned, even without enunciating, you're chayiv. Amrav Sheshas, you can answer like this. He didn't have in his heart, he didn't want to say paschitin. V'hotzi, by accident, he said pasorim, he said barley. Now, gomer beliba lahotzi, paschitin. If he thought in his heart to say wheat, v'hotzi pastam, he didn't say wheat bread, he just said bread, minayin, Talmud lomar, l'chol asher vatei adam, it would be included. And you'd bring a korban. So, meisvei, moitzas vasecha tishmor vasisa. What comes out of your mouth, be careful and do it. Einli elashoitzi b'misfasav. So that implies only if you said it are you going to be chayiv. Gomar belibo. What if you just formed the thought in your heart? Minayin. Talmud lomer kol nadiv leiv. Even in the heart decides. By donating to the Beis Hamikdash, because that's where these psukim are, Shani Osm Dechsiv Kol Nadiv Leiv, but not in other places in the Torah. The Gemara says V'nikmer Minei, why not? Let's learn from Hegdish to the other places. And for the Gemara Mishum Davi Trumu Kotshim, both of these are written by Truma and by Kotshim. And Shnei Ksum Abam Ke'echad, two psukim that teach you the same din. You don't extend the halacha to other dinim. Fine. That's good according to people who don't learn it. Why don't learn it to the other halachas? Because we have three subjects. Chulin, kotshim, excuse me. You have a chulin v'kotshim, it's chulin v'kotshim lo gamrinan. To learn kotshim over the chulim, we can't learn it. They have more stringencies regarding kotshim. Okay. So we're going to learn sorba in a half hour. Then the next time we're going to learn
Friday morning.
No. Thursday night, 9 p.m.
Thursday, not 9 p.m. You're leaving on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah,
You arrive in Israel. You arrive in Israel
Thursday, like 3, 4 o'clock.
3, 4 o'clock.
So what time our time?
So then.
So the best way to do it is we're going to learn Thursday night,
9 p.m. Right? That's what we
9
said.
p.m.
So it's Friday.
It will be Friday morning
for me. Friday morning for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
So
I'd like to learn to catch up Friday morning at 8 o'clock if you guys can do it or want to do it, because that'll be 6 o'clock my time. I'll have time before Shabbos. So we'll talk about it Thursday night. We'll see
Okay.
what you guys are up to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, safe travels.
Okay.
Thanks.
Safe travels.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.